Okay, what's going on, guys? Dr. Stephen James here to bring you another video. Today I am going to do my review of this past week's episode of The Walking Dead. This is called episode 1105, Out of the Ashes. Before we get started, I have an announcement. I haven't really been doing so well. I went with my dad to get a test for COVID, and turns out we both tested positive. His results came out first for some reason, but I got mine earlier today. So I'm feeling fine apart from the cough that I've had for 8 days and the occasional sniffles, and now I'm on pretty strict medication, pretty regular medication, like a ton, and for some reason I actually feel worse after taking it. I don't really know how to explain it, but my dad is patient zero. My mom hasn't been tested, but it's already pretty clear that she has it too. Today's Wednesday. She was gonna get tested first thing tomorrow. Hopefully my sister isn't sick, but yeah, I mean, it's ironic that my dad is patient zero, considering he's the only one that got vaccinated. If that isn't a red flag about these vaccines, I don't know what is. But that's getting into controversial topics, and that's not what this video is about. So I just wanted to get it out of my way. I will be talking more about that in my next podcast. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, take care of yourselves, everyone, and yeah, that's it. That's it for the announcement. Okay, back to the show. Okay, so anyways, spoiler warnings if you have not seen this episode yet. If you have AMC Plus, then you've already seen this over 2 weeks ago. I kind of miss the good old days when we can all watch it together. It's pretty clear that we get to see Aaron's psychosis in this episode. It's pretty clear that it's a dream from the redness of the leaves and on the ground, and the fact that he took his daughter with him. He would never take her out in the woods. He's never even taken her on runs before. Come to think of it, has she ever even been outside the wall of Alexandria since she was taken from the sanctuary, or the outpost of the sanctuary? Whatever. Probably not, but anyway, moving on. So we get so basically we get to see Aaron's demons in the forms of enemies that we've seen in the past. First we have a wolf, and that was taking us way back, like season 6, and I guess Aaron still kind of blames himself for leading the wolves to Alexandria. Throughout it all, we can hear whispering from the saviors, that. And then we have the most recent villains, a whisperer, holding a knife, which I have since found out that was played by Greg Nicotero himself. So that was interesting. I think what's going on with Ezekiel, Eugene, and Princess and Yumiko at the Commonwealth has been, viewed the most this season. They're in trouble, it looks like, as we've seen at the end of the episode. Eugene has been has made unauthorized contact with Alexandria, And this is the first time that Eugene has made contact since during the Whisper War. It was nice that he's made contact with them again and caught up, but yeah, they got caught, and now they're going to be put on trial, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be a fair trial because they're not citizens of the Commonwealth yet. They're just seeking sanctuary. So it's going to be pretty difficult for them. Taking us back to Alexandria, the walls have been breached, so they're trying to build those back up, and some kids, teenagers were messing around with the walkers, and Judith basically says not to, and they say they're just having fun, and what was that kid's name that bullied Judith? Are we ever gonna get to find out, or was he just thrown in to give Judith a bit of character development? Yeah, the kid basically goaded him into. The kid basically goaded Judith into feeling bad because because everyone's left her. Carl died when he was young, and for all anyone knows, her father's dead. Rick, not Shane, her actual father. And Michonne is just nowhere to be heard of. Supposedly they will be reunited, Michonne and Judith, when Michonne realizes that Rick is someplace that once you arrive you can never leave. So when finding that out, she might she might return for the series finale. We'll see. So I ran out of storage space on my iPhone, so I had to use my camera, which, in case you didn't already know, has been having technical troubles syncing the audio in the importing process with the camcorder to the editing windows. And I know it's a software problem because when I play the footage on the camcorder itself, I can hear it just fine. So I'm going to be recording a narration instead. Continuing with what I was talking about. Yeah, the reunion with Yumiko and her brother was kind of touching. The shock at the sight of him had the shock at the sight of her overwhelmed him clearly, because he dropped the cake that he had just finished making. Presumably he made it. I don't know. Anyway, the bullies, the kid bullying Judith, or kids, had broken the art project he made with Carl before she was barely even old enough to remember. So, maybe they didn't. Maybe we're jumping to a conclusion, but honestly, who else would have the gall to do something like that? No one we've met so far, I think. So, Rosita offers to help him, help her fix. Rosita offers to help her fix it, which is very nice, and they have a little heart-to-heart afterwards about, people constantly leaving Judith, and Rosita, being that she knows a thing or two about that, she was able to, console her, and it was a touching dialogue, because I'm glad they had that heart to heart. So News. Maggie and Negan. Honestly, their fighting is getting kind of old at this point, in my opinion. Although in although toward the beginning there's this funny sequence where she throws the knife at a walker in Negan's direction. He ducks down like shit. That was kind of funny, but he she clearly didn't care. Otherwise, she could have just told him to duck, but she didn't. She just flat out threw the knife in his direction without any warning. So yeah, the big fight is that I'm talking about is how Negan was going to take the supplies over to the community, and Maggie disagreed, and so they fought a bit. They had a little spat, and who knows how far it would have gotten if Gabriel and whatever the other guy whoever the other guy was that was from Maggie's group. So, uh, probably nothing, I imagine. It was just a little confrontation again. It happens. And meanwhile, some Alexandrians went to the ruins of Hilltop, and they noticed a horde of walkers that was acting weird. And yeah, it turns out the Whisperers were not as extinct after all. I guess it was kind of foolish of me to think that um, they were all dead. Cause I mean, honestly, if any group could survive after if any group could elude us after their leader was destroyed, it would be it would be it um it would be the Whisperers, because they can hide amongst a horde of a million walkers and be fine. And since to the living, the Whisperers at first glance appear to be walkers, they could easily lose the living in a crowd as well. So yeah, turns out a few of them have survived, and Aaron went a little hard on his interrogation, obviously because he's as we just obviously because he's a father, and as we saw in the beginning of the episode, he was going through some stuff, worrying that he won't be able to protect his daughter Gracie, and so he went hard on interrogation against the Whisperer. So uh yeah so Carol had to Carol, knowing what he's going through, had stopped him before going too far, and we found out that he has a lead on Connie, the deaf lady that's been missing from the storyline for almost almost a full season's worth of episodes by now. So yeah, um, uh, he gave him the location, and honestly, I don't know why they didn't take him with him back to Alexandria, and but instead they just left him in the ruins of Hilltop. I mean, if I was them, I would have taken him. I would have taken him into custody at Alexandria, probably. But the last thing we see is a few zombies coming toward him. But I think they're in Aaron's head. the zombies, because this whisperer wasn't mentioned in Memoriam at the on Talking Dead, so it leads me to believe that those walkers were again in Aaron's head. But yeah, that's where the credits roll, and I think that's all I need to talk about. There are a few theories that I haven't gotten into, like how Stephanie might not actually be Stephanie, that she's just some random lady that was sent to spy on Ezekiel and the others. So, yeah, I mean, it's plausible. Do I believe that's what's going on? Only time will tell. But, yeah, so, there is some more that, yeah, there is some more that we can talk about, but for the most part, I think that's it. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, oh, almost forgot my rating. My rating for this episode is an 8.7 out of 10. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. No, it was an okay episode, I'd say. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you in the next one. As always, it's Dr. Stephen James saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.